We're here. Hello and welcome to another edition of 5-Star Broadcast. I'm Andy Peck.
And I'm Angelo Parenti.
And this week we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble that's coming up. We're going to be making some of our predictions, and Angelo and I are actually going to be heading down with a few of our friends, so that makes it extra special for us. The first thing we're going to attempt to predict, and keep in mind we're doing this a day before the final Raw, so we might make some changes to our predictions depending on what happens tomorrow. But the first thing we're going to attempt to predict is the 30-man Rumble.
I'm just gonna go with what it seems like it might be, and the way they're pushing him, I think it might be Batista.
I was thinking that too, but I'm trying to rack my brain and figure out who else it could be besides Batista. And
you never know if they just throw something crazy at us, and there's the Reigns, or I don't think it's gonna be CM Punk. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to think of like WrestleMania too.
Yeah, that's what I always think of when I'm trying to pick a winner. And I know there's been talks of Batista and Orton as the main event for WrestleMania, which I wouldn't really care for. But if that's the way they're gonna go, it might end up being Batista.
The other day I was thinking about this, and it's like whenever anyone tries to really think of the WrestleMania matches, Cena gets for some reason lost. And so I was thinking, what if it would be so cool if no matter what, Batista's gonna get a huge pop tomorrow night. But when he left, he was a heel.
Yeah.
So what if WWE did something cool where he gets a huge pop, and he turns on the crowd. He's a heel. He wins the Royal Rumble, and nobody really thinks Cena's gonna win against Orton. And if Cena wins that match, and then them two giant dudes fighting in the Royal Rumble.
That could definitely happen.
At WrestleMania.
Yeah. No, that could definitely happen. The only thing I have to say with that is he's been hinting at a feud with Del Rio on Twitter and within some of the shows. So that would be my only reason to not think that would happen, but it's not a bad idea. And just a rundown real quick, so far that have entered, Batista, Del Rio, Big E, The Miz, R-Truth, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Cody Rhodes, Goldust, Rey Mysterio, CM Punk, Fandango, Bad News Barrett, he's gonna wrestle!
Finally.
And the 3 members of The Shield. So, I mean, out of that lineup of what we have already, it looks like legitimate people that can possibly win: Batista, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, and Del Rio. They're the only real contenders,
Yeah, I mean, on SmackDown, the Shield even was showing I'll eliminate you if I have to.
Yeah.
Even I think Goldust told Cody I mean, it wasn't in a mean way, but I think he was you eliminated me last Royal Rumble, so but yeah, I mean, we still, like you said, there's still tomorrow, so who knows who else is going to enter themselves in the Royal Rumble. And I mean, they don't tell all 30 entries too.
No, so they keep some a mystery. And I know people are talking about Roman Reigns. I think he's going to have a big Rumble, but I don't see him winning this, so I'm not going to include him in my predictions. So far with this list, I'm going to go with Batista, the obvious choice.
Still not forgetting about that Triple H entry.
Yeah, you never know. Triple H might be in this. Only 3 matches are confirmed for this so far: the Rumble and then 2 others. The first being Big Show and Brock Lesnar. And for that, I'm gonna go with Brock. I really think they're just gonna feed him Big Show to give him a big win.
I think that's the same thing that if Del Rio fights Batista, I just think they're doing it to let Batista squash Del Rio, and I think it could be good. I mean, Brock and Big Show have had good matches in the past. They've had that famous where the ring collapses, but I'm going with Brock.
Yeah, it's just going to be, a slugfest basically, and I'm not expecting, a 5-star Matt Classic, but it'll be a decent brawl between the two. And then the third match that was announced so far is the WWE title match with Orton and Cena, and I don't know, were you thinking that Cena's going to pull this one off?
I think we've made a couple bold predictions before, and sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. When they originally announced this match, and for a good amount of time until the last couple days, I was like Orton. And I am an Orton fan, but I just think I'm going to just go with Cena for the hell of it.
All right. I think I'm going to go with Orton for this one.
Man.
There's so much buzz going around with possibilities of Hogan coming in and being in a match either with Cena or teaming with Cena or whatever that I can't fully commit to the idea of Cena winning. And then with Batista being rumored to win the Rumble, and there's just so much that's making me think it's going to be Orton. I don't know.
The other thing too, I was like, oh, Batista, Cena, if both of them are baby faces, but recently Vince McMahon said in a conference there's no such thing as heels and baby faces anymore. I mean,
so we could see Batista, Cena even as faces.
I mean, look at the last two main events. It was The Rock and Cena.
Yeah. So you might be right. Maybe Cena's going to pull this one off, but I kind of hope he doesn't. I'd like to see him not be, in the title match again this year at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, for the longest time, we're like, is Cena gonna put over someone? And he did it to Orton last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Will he do it 2 times in a row?
That's another thing. Cena losing twice in 2 months in a world title match. That's basically unheard of.
Yeah.
But moving along, there's some possible matches that have been rumored to be taking place. One might not happen because Daniel Bryan had a concussion last week in his match, but the rumored match was Daniel Bryan against Bray Wyatt. And we actually have a question that kind of relates to this, coming from Melissa over on Twitter. She wants to know, do we think it's too soon to have Daniel Bryan break away from the Wyatts? What are your thoughts on that, Ange?
I was definitely surprised, but I was excited at the same time. But I was excited because of how awesome it was. But if it didn't happen, I wasn't I definitely didn't expect it.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to happen last week either. I thought it was going to happen more towards WrestleMania, maybe possibly happening at the Royal Rumble. But I thought they'd drag it out a little longer. I read online that they wanted to do it soon because of something that happened at some sporting events.
I was going to say that. I was going to bring it up too. It's awesome for Daniel Bryan, that just to show how huge he is. But it just sucks that WWE, they make their decision based off that.
Yeah.
If that's the truth. It's just, they remind me of like the preppy kid in school.
They just go with whatever's cool and we'll get them over. I don't know. I was talking to somebody at my work, and his idea behind that turn happening so fast was that it was the first Raw after the WWE Network was announced, and they knew a lot of people would be watching, and they wanted to have a big moment that would hook, people in, not only fans, but, people, investors like stockholders, shareholders, and all of that. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I thought it was awesome. Like, WWE has been really good the last couple Raws, between the Raw where Daniel Bryan went with the Wyatts, nobody really expected it. Next Raw was old school Raw, awesome, and then this past Raw, another awesome ending. So, it's just, there's nothing to complain about. It's just you didn't expect it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hits so far on Raw these past few weeks. And one of the hits coming out of it is the New Age Outlaws coming back. I'm excited about that. And
another when they left and turned on CM Punk,
Yeah.
Another crazy thing that happened, and it just, I really, really want to see Triple H against CM Punk, and I think that's really building it up. CM Punk called him out on SmackDown this week. But yeah, I think you're going to bring up how there might possibly be a New Age Outlaws against Rhodes Brothers at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'm thinking New Age Outlaws against the Rhodes Brothers. It's been talked about, and I think it's going to happen. My prediction for that, though, would be the Rhodes Brothers. I don't see them losing yet.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Especially to a returning New Age Outlaws group. Like, I don't think they're going to be a full-time staple, tag team.
Yeah,
so
I think and I hope that they're just throwing them in there to build up the CM Punk Triple H feud.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where it's headed. So, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, there's maybe another match or two that gets added. If there is, we'll be posting our predictions on Twitter, or if we have any changes, we'll post them on Twitter as well. So we do have some more questions that came through from our friend Matt. He wants to know our favorite Royal Rumble moment, our favorite overall Royal Rumble, and the coolest spot at the Rumble this year. I'm not sure what he means by that, but we'll kind of address these. I think we've talked about some of this in the past, but
yeah, I just think, like I said, there's just so many Royal Rumbles for me to pick one. But in general, I love when there's surprise returns. I love when it's it's cool when it's like an old school wrestler, even though they might be in it for 2 seconds, or they, that they don't really mean anything. Like it's just really exciting, and the fact that you and me are gonna be there, counting.
And we're right by the entrance, so we'll be able to see all these guys as they're coming out. So that'll be cool.
But yeah, if you have more specific.
Yeah, I mean, for favorite Royal Rumble moment for me was probably Shawn Michaels when he was thrown over the top by a British Bulldog and his one foot touched the floor. I was a huge Shawn Michaels fan at that time, so that was cool. And that was the first time you ever saw somebody like where the guy thought he was eliminated like that to win the match, and then he came back in and threw him out.
I liked the one Royal Rumble where it ended up causing a main event at the next pay-per-view, the four-way match. I think that was the first time they did something like that.
Yeah, that was I'm trying to think of what Royal Rumble that was. Well, they did. There's the Bret Hart Lex Luger one where they went over the top and landed on each other, and then I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Austin was involved.
Yeah, it wasn't. We'll have to look it up.
We'll have to look up. We'll put it on the screen or something.
Yeah. Another for my overall favorite Royal Rumble is probably '92 when it was for the world title. The only time it was ever for the world title. And Ric Flair ended up winning, so that was a really cool Royal Rumble. And then in '93, that was the first year where they made it so that the winner went on to WrestleMania to win, to fight the champ. So that was a cool moment. Not an overall good Rumble, but '92 is going to be my favorite, I think.
And then he asked about the coolest spots for this year.
I'm not sure if he means who's going to have a cool spot, or
I
guess
Kofi's been having. Yeah, he's been known for that.
Probably Rey Mysterio. I mean, it's the smaller guys.
Yeah.
The Shield.
Yeah, I think we talked about how we think Roman Reigns is going to eliminate a lot of people, but who knows?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a weird, almost elimination by Kofi Kingston where he comes back in the ring. Something crazy from Rey Mysterio, and then
I think there's possible chance of a screw job with CM Punk because of how Kane keeps saying that we want you to win, we want you to be like. I see it happening, and maybe that's will elevate that feud that we want between him and Triple H.
Yeah, and I mean, real quick before we run out of time, Kane's been facing the Wyatts on house shows recently, so I don't know if that's going to lead, because it seems like he was kind of like interjecting himself in that tag match that happened last week. So is Kane going to end up siding with Daniel Bryan to go against the Wyatts?
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. That's what it seems like to me, but I don't know. I guess we're out of time for this one.
Yeah. Keep sending those questions, and we're out of here.
See ya.